Wonderful. You got
I was wondering about that.
3, 2, 1. What is happening, guys? This is Logan Robinson from Here This Beer, presented to you by NoleGameDay.com. We are here on a fantastic Tuesday. We're switching it up like crazy this year, but we're on a Tuesday night because of Thanksgiving on Thursday. So we got to give you guys some content to go listen to on your drives or flights, wherever you're going for Thanksgiving holidays. We're here to give you a good pod to get you also prepared for Florida this upcoming weekend. With me this evening is Austin Veazey, our lead basketball writer in the middle, and then Dustin Lewis, back from his bachelor trip, looking kind of rough, but that's
I'm
how
back, baby.
Woo! You look great, D-Lu.
Dude, I'm dead right now. So if there's a couple bad moments in the podcast from me, like I apologize.
Well, there's usually always those, but
yeah, but there might be a couple extra
additional. Okay, good.
Can't wait.
Yeah,
I'm like room spinning right now.
Oh my god.
I'm about to go down.
You're about to go down. Bachelor trip. Woo! Goodness. We will have Nate on here in just a few, coming back from work soon. So what we'll do is do our instant reaction to Florida State. Florida State's win over BC. D-Lu was in attendance for that one, so he can give us the top-notch in-person reaction from that. We're going to talk Julian Armella and his top 4. He puts Florida State. We're going to talk a little Travis Hunter. As always, got to talk Travis Hunter. Hopefully Nate will be in here by then. Dan Mullen let go in Gainesville. A lot to talk about there. Maybe some quarterback trouble, too, for this upcoming weekend for the Gators. We'll get into that. We'll talk about basketball. Florida State absolutely dominating Missouri and Loyola Marymount, getting the first inaugural championship there in Jacksonville.
They're back.
They're back. They're back.
Took 1 week. Only took 1 week.
Yep. Leonard's back. And then we'll preview the next 2 games for FSU with Boston and Purdue. And then for the rest of the pod, we're going to talk Florida State versus UF. I'm excited. This could be, I don't want to say it, this could be our last game preview of the season, gentlemen. This would be really sad. It could be, football-wise. This could be our last one.
That's not even a thought in my mind. Why would you even bring that up?
It could be. I was thinking about it at practice today. I mean, that's my last practice. That could have been my last practice.
I know that we've got at least one more. Maybe 2 more. You know, Florida State, they could somehow sneak into that ACC championship. I'm joking.
Now you're really a god. You are swirling. Austin, get your man.
What?
Maybe a late playoff contender. They're like, wow, look at how they finished the season. Put them in.
No. I mean, a lot of quality losses. You know the value of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Always moving up.
Yeah, so Florida State, we'll get into it because we got a long show ahead, I'm sure. Can't stop talking. Got to get you guys ready for this big UF game. So let's jump right into it. Before we do that, let's say thank you, as always, to our friends at Celsius. Just random showing them some love here at the beginning of the show instead of later. And then also, as always, you can listen to the podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, and YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. If you're on Facebook right now, I know a lot of you are out there. Got 60 of you watching right now. Hit the like on the show. Share it with your friends. Share it into an FSU group you're in. There's thousands of them. So, but anyways, appreciate y'all watching always live with us. Let's jump into it. Florida State absolutely, well, not obliterates. That's a basketball team right now that did their thing this past weekend. But Florida State takes down Boston College up there in Chestnut Hill. Dustin, you were there. How'd it feel? Florida State comes away with the 26-23. Weren't even worried about beating Miami. That mentality was the same for Boston College. Come up, show up prepared, and play well.
Hey, well, it was a fun game, right? You know, after that first half, I don't think anyone expected that it was going to be that close. But, you know, the refs did what they did to make it known that they wanted to have an impact on that game. I mean, the second half, it was just ridiculous. You know, I think BC got flagged 3 times over the final 3 quarters, or maybe even less than that. And you had the targeting call on Jamie Robinson, which, you know, the defender's going into his tackle motion, and then the quarterback slides. At that point, with how fast the game is, you know, the defender can't get out of the way. So it's really the quarterback's fault that he took a headshot. And now you lose him for the first half against Florida. So that could end up being a factor. You had the missed block in the back that turns into an unnecessary roughness. I mean, just the offensive pass interference on Jordan Wilson.
Yeah.
The game was so poorly officiated, it was crazy. And I don't know if they were showing it on TV, but during the timeouts, Mike Norvell, just about every time, he was ripping 2 or 3 different officials, breaking them over, having them explain calls on the spot. And he was nodding, but you could tell, man, he wanted to just rip them apart. And obviously, Florida State has sent some of those calls to the ACC to be looked at. And the crew on Saturday, I mean, it probably would have been a 40-10 football game until they started just ruining it. And regardless, it was good to see Florida State fight and figure out a way to come out with the dub.
Austin, you didn't get to be on the instant reaction with me and Nate. How do you take away that win? Florida State, once again, on a streak right now.
Keeping the bowl hopes alive.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I really don't like is I feel like the offense fails to adjust in the second half. We've seen it a few times in a row where they come out fire in the first half, but both against Miami and against Boston College. And then the second half, they just look lost, not getting the yards, not getting the movement that they need. But at least they're getting out to a good enough start in the first half where they can, I guess, coast to a win. But I'd like to see them dominate a game for all 4 quarters. And I get part of it was poor officiating, part of it's adjustments on the other side, but Florida State has to adjust as well. Other than that, really like what you saw, especially on the defensive line. Keir Thomas had a huge game. Jermaine Johnson was Jermaine Johnson. There was even that one play that should have been a fumble that was an incomplete pass where Robert Cooper ate 3 blocks to get to that ball. The D-lines play phenomenal. And they really have the last few weeks, and they're a big reason why Florida State's being successful right now. But just a couple things they need to clean up. Otherwise, I was overall happy.
Yeah, and to your point, Austin, I mean, 2 of those drives in the second half got ended. I think one due to it was either an offensive pass interference or a chop block, and then the other one, FSU, it was 4th and 1, and then they get back-to-back illegal formation penalties that make them have to punt. I mean, come on, man. And the BC runner, I will say it forever. Boston College did not get in on that 4th and 1 on the goal line. I was on that side of the field watching. I mean, the man's knee was clearly down. Logan said the TV broadcast had a poor angle.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous. Like, how do you not have enough cameras in 2021 to be able to figure that shit out? I mean, every stadium should be decked out with cameras. There's no way that you can miss that kind of play. 4th and goal to make it a 1-possession game at that point in time.
Yeah, in 2021, you don't have another camera on the other side of the field. I don't know how that's
Seriously,
possible yet. I don't know how that's a thing, really, to be
better.
honest. It shouldn't cost a whole ton. But, yeah, no, that was the ACC refs. But going into some of the plays, too, like, I want to give a shout-out to Jordan Wilson. And looking back at the game and then watching it live, man, it was pretty fun to watch him and his blocking. Definitely on the touchdown where you got to see Ontario Wilson score there. That was a phenomenal block. And he's been doing that the last 4 or 5 weeks where he's finishing off blocks and allowing great runs for running backs, also wide receivers, and continuing to stay on his assignment. And I got to give a shout out to Jordan Wilson. He had 2 phenomenal blocks in that game, which allowed Florida State to score. And just a great play from a veteran. And, he knows this is his last little bit of time playing. And so he's showing up when needed. And, I thought that was a great game from him.
And also shout out Malik McClain for going up and getting that touchdown up in the second half. We've been wanting receivers to make plays all season. He went up and made a play. Like we've been waiting for someone to do that since Kelvin and Rashad left. That was a hell of a catch to go up and high point that football. We haven't seen that from a Florida State receiver in years.
Nate, welcome in, baby. Sorry, I was going to welcome Nate while he's here.
Okay.
What do you want?
All right, now down to Dustin.
I was just going to say shout out Jordan Travis as well. Last 2 weeks, I thought he's really started to come into his own as a passer, and you could see it against Boston College, the confidence that he has in himself to be able to deliver some of those passes. Also, not getting as panicked in the pocket. Instead of rolling out and just tucking it, he's stepping up and still looking downfield to make plays. I've been really impressed with what he's done the past 2 weeks, hoping he can carry that into UF and get Florida State to a bowl game.
I want to shout out Akeem Dent, man.
Mhm.
I talked about him on the instant reaction. His play has been tremendous the last few weeks. He's done really well in the run game, but in the passing games when he's really starting to come together for him. Are we just shouting out right now? I know I joined late, but
yeah.
but no, I mean, even when he was at corner last year, even in run support, that's always been a strong point for him. He, like I talked about Logan. He's healthy, and the one guy I mentioned in the 3-up, Master Mino had a great game on Saturday.
Mhm.
He put Boston College deep. Or was it 4 times? The guy hasn't had a touchback all season.
I was gonna say he's been great all season.
For as frustrating as special teams has been as a whole, he's been a steady force, and has done really well for FSU. That's why I had to shout him out in that 3-up because the fact he has no touchbacks and he has nearly 20, inside the 20. You got to give him a tip of the cap, but. I think the biggest disappointment it was that interior of the offensive line. Brady Scott's just such a drop off, even from Bavion and Love Taylor. It's such a tremendous drop off that Florida State. They can't go into this Saturday with him playing, and if they can make a bowl game, they got to figure that out because it's just too much of a drop off. And
frozen already?
We lost.
It's like a
Nate.
record, bro.
Already this early. Usually it's
already.
No, you're coming back. I think we might. Now you're a robot, though. I think it's just the internet, but you're slowly. Kind of looks like you're munching on a muffin right now.
Looks like you just opened a surprising email.
Yeah.
Like,
looks like
I just got
it
fired.
feels like a good surprise.
Yeah, it looks like it's a pretty good one. Or
mixed reviews, like maybe smiling because of the pain.
Yeah, maybe. Or like
That
he
looks
just
like
got a shot.
as well.
Yeah, with his arm sleeve up, looks like he just got the.
But
vaccine.
Continuing with Nate's point, when it comes to the offensive line, I feel like that's one thing that we talked about coming into the season. Florida State couldn't afford injuries to those top guys because they're still building depth behind them and establishing what this rotation is going to be going into years forward under Alex Atkins, who hopefully will stick around for as long as Florida State will have him. And they're going to need the guys like Devontae Love Taylor, Dylan Gibbons, Maurice Smith, and Bavion Johnson to man that interior and be healthy. You got 2 games left at this point. I think everyone in college football, not just Florida State, is banged up, is dealing with some sort of ailment. And it's just like, is it serious enough to hold you out? Everyone is playing hurt.
And shout out that last comment about Kalen DeLoach. He's made such great improvements this season. And this game in particular, that safety was super impressive. Just shooting that screen, avoiding both blocks, and getting that hit stick it's an impressive play. We haven't seen a linebacker at Florida State make that play since Terrence Smith. Just great play. He had a really good game on Saturday. Yeah.
Shout out to Kalen DeLoach. I don't know what Nate's face is right here, but very scary. Very scary.
man. DeLoach's been balling, man, for real.
Yep. He's been Florida State's best linebacker this season.
That play, on the safety, he came from, I think, 7 yards out and just right through.
It's just a missile.
Right through the freaking ball carrier, man. Like right through.
It was super impressive. When I got home after work, that was one of the first plays I went back and watched was that safety. I'm like, that was a hit. Mm-hmm. He brought the lumber on that one.
Dude, he brings the energy. I mean, Robert Cooper talked about him early on after practice in one of the interviews, saying that he is the energizer bunny of that defense. And, he's not only that, brings the energy, is hitting his right spots, but he also goes down and tags guys for the defensive line, left, right, where you need to be, which hole you're supposed to be at, which gap you need to be before the play. So he's turned into a leader too.
I know you already hit on the refs. It sounded like when I was coming in, but what do y'all make of that I'm glad Norvell kind of mentioned it. I'm
so tired. I'm drunk.
what?
The podcast people are not going to understand what the hell you just interrupted for, but Leslie says that she thinks someone's drunk on here. So I don't know who it is, but I wish it was me.
I wish it was me, man. I wish you got from work to be fucking nice. After the day I had.
You have to deal with us. Just drink it up. You get to come out of work all day and come hang out with us. You got to deal with
Dustin. I don't mind you and Austin, but I got to deal with Dustin, man.
Bachelor boy.
No, I'm glad that Norvell kind of mentioned something with the trends with particular referees that the outliers and everything. I'm glad he mentioned that because, man, that was an all-time worst fucking game watching. I'm sorry, it was horrible.
I mean, not wrong.
I was there, man. It was awful, it was worse being in the stands with all
How
the Boston
frustrating was it
fans.
watching it in person?
Oh, it was terrible.
Weren't you yelling?
Fans, yeah, I was screaming. I don't want to say what I was screaming.
It's up there with that Miami game when Najee Bradham got ejected.
I think it's
the same
consistently worse that game.
They just had so many different. I mean, do y'all remember too when Jerkovic had the ball hit out of his hand? They called that he called that a throw. That was not a throw on the review to me. That was not. He was not throwing the ball.
Makes you wonder.
I don't think it was close enough to overturn it.
That guy's such a Clemson fan. Makes you wonder.
Yeah, no. So he has affiliations in his family with his daughter or niece.
His daughter
graduated from.
daughter
graduated
he's
from
all
Clemson.
He's all about Clemson.
Yeah. And obviously would not like Florida State.
Allegedly.
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 I was going to say allegedly to stay safe.
I mean, it's probably true because, that's the same crew that officiated
Jacksonville State.
Yep, Florida State versus Jacksonville State earlier in the season.
120 penalty yards, was it? Something like that?
So those are the two outlier games of the entire year, and there's only one thing in common with them.
So
they suck. ACC sucks. On my dad the whole time. Florida State's got to get out of this conference. It is.
Yeah, apparently atrocious. I didn't know who the ref was on Saturday because I was screaming at Jeff Flanagan, and then I figured out that he wasn't even the ref. So,
he was not the ref.
Nope.
That was funny.
Hey, here's always good flip flop here, going from ACC officials to uniform changes. Sage is asking, kind of random, but any word if uniform changes are coming in the near future? I don't think anytime really, really soon. But I think they're in the works of making some tweaks. Let's see here. But yeah, any last thoughts on that game before we move on? Anything else?
Do it one more time.
One more.
Please. And then one more time after that.
Nate, I'm going to ask you one question.
Yeah.
Do you like legacy recruits?
It depends sometimes. Sometimes they're worth a take, and sometimes they're not. Not every legacy recruit is worth recruiting. But in this case,
I need to hide
Julian Armella is. Marvin Jones Jr. is.
Those would be some good kids,
Devin
right?
Bush should have been. Devin Bush should have been, but miscalculation on their part, on him as a player in college, but things happen. But yeah, I'm digging it.
Okay. Well, thank you for that answer there, because we're going to jump right into a legacy recruit that put Florida State in his top 4. Yesterday, Julian Armella has FSU, LSU, Alabama, and the Florida Gators in his final 4. He plans on picking pretty soon. He'll actually be visiting UF versus FSU this weekend. How are you feeling?
Because
isn't Florida not doing visitors? Yeah.
So how's that going to work for Julian in getting there? I guess maybe he can just go as a regular
StubHub
general admission, StubHubber, Ticketmaster.
That's for Florida to fumble the ball about. So good for them.
Hey, my hands are off. I'm just saying what was said a couple days ago. But yeah, Julian Armella has Florida State in his top 4. How do you think Florida State's feeling right now, Nate? How are we feeling? You dropped a little nugget, or you can't give away the full nuggets in the Discord, but
I mean, let's look at the top four with some common sense. Okay. It is a top 250 player going to go to a program that is under coaching changes without announcing what the coaching change is. So, in my opinion, that knocks out two programs. That knocks out LSU, that knocks out Florida. And that leaves FSU, and that leaves Alabama. You look at Alabama, who that's the juggernaut, the preeminent program of the last decade. They're in a spot Florida State was and has been in before, where you can pick and choose who you want, and that's something they've done. And it seems like their numbers are getting tight. And the perfect example too, you look at Jackson versus Earl Little Jr. They can't take everyone, and there's been allegedly some talk of Alabama not necessarily recruiting him as hard as they were at one time, which leaves Florida State. And I think, we talked about it on here a few times where even Julian himself wanted to see FSU move in the right direction. And I think that this back half of the season, I think Florida State's moving in the right direction. I think he's been able to see as a recruit, not only him, but some other recruits have been able to see Florida State, the perfect concept and things that they talk about are starting to happen. So I think that the timing makes sense for it to be FSU. Something crazy could happen. He could decide to go to LSU and figure out whoever the coach is. You never know. It's recruiting, but I'd be very surprised. I think Florida State right now is sitting in a very comfortable position.
Yeah, I agree. You got to think Florida State is in that top spot right now. It really felt like a couple weeks ago, a month ago, he was probably LSU bound before the Coach O news came out. And ever since then, it seems like Florida State has kind of taken command. He's planning to take a visit to Tallahassee in December, I think, before he makes his decision. And maybe he even makes his decision on that trip as well. So I do think Florida State eventually locks him into the class. And
great for OTB. I don't give a shit what they say. Sorry, Dustin.
That's fine. I don't give a shit what they say either.
But yeah, Florida State is probably in some really good contention here, and obviously that helps a ton on that offensive line, bringing in a guy that talented as he is.
The guy's versatile too. He can play tackle. I like him more inside or a right tackle type position. But I like him inside, man. A guy that is that physical and can move really well. That's someone that you want to get out and be able to get in space and get to that second level. So it'd be great for FSU to get a guy they've been after heavily now for 2 years now. So
these are recruitments you got to win.
Yep.
We've talked about it.
Not only because it's a legacy, but also it's such a position of need. So and let's be honest, Florida doesn't produce a lot of great offensive linemen. And this is one of the better ones that's come out over the last few years. He is more of a ceiling guy. He's a good recruit now. He's a good player, but he's got a bright future. But he's also been able to progress year over year. And there haven't been a lot of offensive linemen in Florida that have gotten better year over year. They kind of just peak and are what they are. So he even looks better this year, playing for St. Thomas. So got to like what you see.
Yeah, and you're seeing, so many talented guys out of Florida now go out of state. So winning this one, along with hopefully Marvin Jones Jr. down the line, it's really going to help Florida State. You look over at the current state of Miami and Florida. I mean, this program, they're on the verge of taking back the state of Florida. If they can win this Saturday and get to a bowl game, carry that into the offseason, keep improving. I really think Norvell has Florida State primed for future success right now.
Even Aaron Hester, who's a solid player, people forget about him, but you look at the year that Lamont Green Jr.'s had monster junior year.
5 sacks on Friday night.
Another legacy recruit that Florida went after, Miami went after, and he chose to jump on board early. So it's like you said, Dustin, you got to lean on those kids.
I don't think we got to talk about it, but we can talk about it briefly here. I don't know if we mentioned this about Marvin Jones Jr. putting Florida State in his top 5. Did we?
Yeah, last week.
Okay, making sure we had mentioned that. And then it goes over to now. Looks like the Georgia boards are going crazy about your guy, Travis Hunter. Nate, making up rumors, desperate
making
mode.
Up rumors, yo. Man, like, for real, come on. Like, I really want to, we should invite them on the podcast. I really would like to have a conversation.
Oh, God.
Why they think that it is going to happen. What makes them think that at all said and done, everything that's happened, that Hunter's gonna at the very end, I'm gonna go to Georgia.
Sources, bro. I mean, that's what I saw the snippet on Twitter or something, and the guy said something like Hunter has taken 2 visits to Georgia and like publicly, and a few others. And dude, do you think if the number 1 prospect went to a school, it wouldn't come out from somewhere?
Absolutely.
Or like on someone or on a player's Instagram story, or it would eventually be caught. I mean, you're not. Yeah. It's 2021. Someone in town would see Travis Hunter. Like
my favorite part about
the
entire thing was the guy saying, "Yeah, our system won't let me predict a flip." I'm like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard, because I know that's false. I see basketball guys flip their prediction all the time. You can't tell me, "Oh yeah, rivals won't let me flip my prediction." It's crap.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the guy is so backwards Georgia, he doesn't understand that it's 2021 and that everyone has a cell phone and wants internet clout. So, if they see Travis Hunter in Georgia, it's going to be, oh, shit, or, hey, yo. I mean, come on, man.
Hey, yo, I love that. Is that your hey, yo, Nate?
Yeah, fuck it out of here, man.
Oh, man. Nah, I mean, I go after my clout. I go after my clout, but I don't go to that kind of reach.
Third comment in the chat says Travis posted on his Instagram denying the rumors.
Oh, yeah, no.
Leave that kid alone, man. Right. Shit.
He's got a month before he signs. Let him live a little bit, please.
Let him enjoy life. Let him enjoy the last little bit. Yeah, Travis Hunter here on his Instagram story, quoting the Instagram post of the rumor of Georgia flipping Travis Hunter, saying, "Stop the cap. Boy, I'm a Knoll." So people don't know what cap means. I mean, you're joking, you're lying.
I'm gonna start posting rumors about Georgia recruits.
You need to go back at it.
Someone's got to take shots back at them.
Come on, someone's got to do it.
I'm always game for a good battle.
Aluba has woman legs. Post that. Confirmed.
You said it. I didn't.
If Alabu if he has those legs and I got the same legs, I'll take it. I'll take it, Nate.
Tyree West is flipping to Florida State.
That is happening.
Yeah. Tyree West. Anything new on that? It's kind of quieted around a little bit, but seems like Florida State's still on the good side there for Georgia. West.
Georgia's losing 2 quarterback transfers this year.
Yeah, so they should probably chill out. Should probably relax on the Travis Hunter stuff. But Travis Hunter did go visit one of your fellow friends, Deion Sanders, former Hear the Spear alum. Deion Sanders over there at Jacksonville State, going to just see what's going on, what's popping at JSU this past weekend. Deion's not taking your boy, Nate. We know. Not taking
him. I mean, I just think Deion's an asshole, so.
Well, hey, Deion, I love you because you came on here, and we have a good solid relationship on here, the Spear. So whenever next, then we'll have Nate and Deion go at it, and I think that would be good fun on here. I think it would be.
Now we should invite that Georgia guy on here, and we should have a discussion. I think it'd be great.
What are these rumors?
I don't know what Coaster has here. Ayo,
I feel like it wouldn't be as much discussion as would be interrogation.
What do we got rumors wise? I don't know. The
I
rumors
mean,
were
if you're gonna
started by
put
a
something
weird.
out there, put something
Oh,
out there,
they're
you
asking
gotta-
what we should do. What we should start creating rumors about. What should we create?
What rumors?
Kirby Smart is going to New Mexico State.
Are you hearing that? What's the
I
source
did
from?
hear that. I did hear that Will Muschamp failed the chlamydia test, and that they think allegedly that he got it from Kirby Smart. So that's the locker room talk, man. You never know, man.
Oh man.
Someone's gonna run with that.
Yeah.
Micah Pittman is a good question here. Good question here about Micah Pittman, the Oregon wide receiver transfer.
Mhm.
Asking about Micah there, and then also about Kevin Coleman. We talked about Coleman. I think we talk about Coleman every podcast.
Yeah.
But Micah Pittman just entered the transfer portal from Oregon, and Florida State is in contact. How would you like to have him, Nate Delu? Me?
They need as much help as they possibly can get.
I'm telling you what, man, that wide receiver room, though.
Now, and the guy is a special teams player too, so and we know how frustrating that has been all season. Is a return game, and you get a guy who's shown that he can make plays. I mean, I think that Florida State getting after him as quickly as they have is pretty indicative of how bad they want him.
Yeah,
They
I
have
mean,
to
Nate
hit
said
the-
it all.
They have to hit the portal
Yeah.
this year in that position.
Yeah.
They have to.
Mhm.
You need multiple new bodies on top of, hopefully Kevin Coleman, hopefully Dustin Hill shows up, and then you do have Devon Mortimer in the fold.
Mhm.
Love to see 5 new faces in that room.
I mean, I wonder if they go, after a guy like Gibson, who's been committed to Florida,
Mhm.
see if they kick those tires again. I think it's going to be a crazy finish. I know someone put it up here. A guy like Eli Ricks who entered the portal, which is shocking to me. He was a freshman All-American, I believe, last year. But, I get all the crap that's going on at LSU and all that kind of stuff. But, if the rumors are true that, a lot of players are upset that they let him go, that'd be a school I'd hit right away. LSU, whoever comes in that portal from LSU, I mean, 'cause they've recruited well. That's one thing that Ogeron has always done well is evaluate and recruit. So I wouldn't mind
they sure
FSU
have.
going after Ricks either.
Yeah, and one thing about Florida State is they're going to do what they can to take advantage of the transfer portal. A lot of the top guys on this team have come through the portal the last year or 2 years, and we're seeing it pay off. So if there's a quality guy in the portal that they think can impact the team, they're going to hit him up and try and get him in.
Just put pictures of Keir Thomas, Jermaine Johnson,
Jamie Robinson.
even McClellan a little bit,
Which, let
All
me
of
say
them.
that again. Keir Thomas had 13 pressures. Jermaine Thomas had 7 pressures.
Jermaine
Top 2 in
Thomas.
the ACC,
Damn.
or Jermaine Johnson, top 2 in the ACC on Saturday, and neither of them got held one time in the entire second half.
Yeah, that was crap.
Yeah. Nah. Jermaine
All
gets held
game.
at least
All
4
game.
times a game.
It
So
blows my freaking mind.
But we're gonna call that pass interference on Jordan Wilson, though.
How many receivers will they take in the portal? 2? 1?
I'd say
I mean, depends who's in the portal, I think.
Depends on talent.
depends
and
who heads
Embiid.
out as well. If you lose a couple guys, from that room.
I mean, if Dustin Hill comes like they expect, I think that evens out some numbers. If he doesn't and something happens, I think you look at 2, maybe 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, you look at that wide receiver room next year. I mean, it does look good. It does, and if you get Burrell back
it does,
too,
but
You still
You
need
need
some
some-
experience.
yes,
And you need some
yes.
game changers.
Yep.
yeah,
need a true.
You
number
need someone
one.
that can take the top off the defense.
Mhm.
And
They
you also
don't
need
have
someone
that.
they need someone that can consistently win one-on-one balls.
Mm-hmm.
I think
I
McClain
am
needs more
eager.
shots, though.
Yeah, I am eager to see Burrell in the slot. A guy that can make those tough catches.
Physical grabs.
Yeah, a guy who had a pretty good spring and was having a good summer and fall, got hurt. He's a big body. You need those guys that can make those tough catches.
No, you're not wrong. Let's jump into the next topic here on the quick hitters of the week. Dan Mullen, gone. Bye-bye. He just does not want to play. He ducked Norvell. Ducked him. Didn't want any part of that business
Let the
at
record
all.
show Norvell is undefeated against Manny Diaz and Dan Mullen. Let the record show.
Absolutely. Didn't get to play last
Technically
year.
true.
Lost in overtime to Missouri. That was a fascinating game to watch there. Missouri goes for 2 in overtime and gets it with a toss into the end zone, and that just about probably did it for the administration.
I always talk about my bottom 5 of coaches, but Missouri's head coach, I have no idea what his name is, but he shot up in my top 5 with his post game next stepping on Florida.
The best one, I got to read this one word for word. The one he had today, where he said, my father was a farmer, and there's an old saying, you reap what you sow. If you sow kindness, you reap kindness. If you sow jackass, you reap jackass. Amazing. Best quote of the season. I love it.
Oh, man. Yeah, no. Yeah, so, Dan Mullen let go, and Gainesville will not be facing Norvell and the Florida State Seminoles this weekend. And
so for as much bullshit that Florida fans talk about FSU, so Florida's been 5-7, 4-8, and they have a chance to go 5-7 this year if they lose Saturday. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What makes them think that they're so elite? What makes them think that they're just a must place to coach?
They're going after. They're boasting about a COVID year. Number one, they had Kyle Trask, Tony.
Yeah, that's great.
The fact they couldn't capitalize on Kyle Trask, Kyle Pitts, Kadarius Toney, the fact they couldn't capitalize on those guys is embarrassing because those guys were insanely talented.
And for a guy,
Pitts is unreal.
It's almost like he purposefully couldn't give 2 rats ass about recruiting. Maybe he was so confident enough in his X and O ability that he didn't care who he recruited. But we all know the difference between recruiting and not recruiting in college football. Doesn't matter. X's and O's has a ceiling in college football. At the end of the day, it comes down to who's playing, and who's catching, who's throwing, who's tackling. It's different from the pros.
I also found it kind of funny that Dan Mullen's let go on Sunday, and then today they get a 4-star D lineman, which I don't know if that speaks more to how well they recruited him or how little he cared about Dan Mullen, that he's like, whatever. I don't want to play for him anyways. It's better that he's gone.
Well, which is an example of, like Armella. That's clearly a kid that wanted to go to Florida. What if Armella just wants to go to LSU?
Yeah.
Those things happen, but, a good, bonus is that Tim Brewster will now be unemployed. So that's always good to see. Got to like him being back on the market. He'll probably be over at UTEP and talk about UTEP as the number 1 program. We develop tight ends, cut and paste whatever program he's at, piece of crap. But nah, man,
you don't like Tim Brewster.
Nah, I can't stand Tim Brewster, man. I can't stand him, man.
He's just an honor. He's in the honor mentions in their top 5.
He's in the honorable mention, in the top 5.
Honorable mention.
If Nate had an assistant coach list, he'd be on the list.
Oh no, he's on. The fact that he's on the, AM, the HM, list, he'd be number 1, I think, of the assistants. That's a lock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's crazy. Florida was what? 1 shoe throw away from making the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
It's crazy how things change. They almost beat Alabama. Everyone's loving Mullen in the future of the program in September. And now he's gone.
When I saw him taking those interviews, those NFL interviews, I thought that he just wanted to kind of get out. Too much hard work for him recruiting wise to take care of.
Yeah, I think he's got something lined up.
Yeah, I think so too.
You know,
He had good
I
conversations
think it's
this
like the
last
Jimbo
offseason.
route. I think he mentally checked out. I think he,
Yeah.
just the way he's acting and talking and
Smiling after games.
Yeah, so I was gonna say smiling, shaking the other
Yeah.
team's hand when you're down 20.
It's hilarious to me because so many
I
Florida fans.
wouldn't be surprised if he got something lined up. Whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
Good for him. It's fine. I think he's a
Florida-
really smart coach.
The Gators are 5-9 since the shoe throw.
One of the best TV moments I've ever seen live.
In college football, for sure.
Just Marco Wilson chucking a shoe 30 yards downfield. It's fantastic. I'm so glad it happened because it spiraled that program. It really did. I mean,
They
you
were
could probably,
Sorry to interrupt you. They were 8
Was
and
it-
1 when the shoe throw happened. Then they lost their final 3 games of the season.
Mm,
And we see how bad they are this year.
yeah.
I didn't think a lot of people point to the Alabama game where it kind of just crushed their soul a little bit. Probably it's kind of like what Alabama did to us in 2017. Once Francois was hurt, Jimbo was like, "I'm done with this." Kind of get that same feeling. Just Florida didn't have an injury to counteract that.
No. And now odds just came out today. We put out on the website. Bob Stoops, now the number 1 favored
Makes his return.
coach to come in and
Not
save
this-
the day.
Not this again.
Bob Stoops until it ain't down there in Gainesville.
BGB.
Who would you not want it to be? For me, number 1, either Napier or
I feel like Napier would be. I feel like Napier would kind of be like Mullen. 'Cause I
Napier
think he's a
and
great
Kiffin.
X's and O's guy, but we got to see how he recruits at a school like Florida.
Right.
Kiffin, but I think Kiffin would just be a cluster.
Kiffin's just going to get a bigger check
I
from
think
Ole Miss.
If I'm Florida, I'm going after Napier because Napier can recruit. Okay, and he's a good X's and O's coach. But can he do it in a bigger program?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's done a great job
Yeah.
in Louisiana. Just can he do it at the University of Florida when you're competing against Alabama, LSU, Georgia, Florida State if they get their act together?
You're looking at also some big time jobs opening. It could be Miami if they move on from Andy Diaz, and then you've also got LSU,
And
USC.
USC.
yeah, USC
James
too.
Franklin
so,
signed a 10-year deal today to stick with Penn State, so he's not going anywhere.
No.
mhm. You don't got a lot to work with, and if Ole Miss,
Ole
holds
Miss is not
down
letting
Lane.
Kiffin go.
I think they're going to send everything on him. The Brinks truck, time $1 million are coming for Lane.
I think that's complete BS. Lane Kiffin ain't going to Florida. I mean,
No.
what? Why would he? He's already building something pretty darn good at Ole Miss. I don't see why he would jump
Correct.
ship.
Plus, he's
I'd rather be in
rumored to have
Oxford, Mississippi than Gainesville, Florida. Also,
Well, I would never want to be in Gainesville.
and he's got the inside track at Arch Manning. So
Yeah, what was that?
He's not going nowhere.
Yeah, right now, what? Bob Stoops 1 with the betting odds. Number 2,
At least
Lane
today.
Kiffin. Number 3 is
It'll
Billy
change
Napier.
tomorrow. Tomorrow to be Tim Tebow and then Urban Meyer and
I
then
pray.
the 2 alligator
Tebow.
mascots are going to jump to the top of the list at some point. That's what these betting sites do. This thing is just going to rotate until a hire actually happens because everything you got to make some money off of everything you do.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I'm all for Tebow. I think it's his time. I really
Fine,
do. It's definitely his time to be a head coach. I'm just saying.
I also love how
really.
Deion Sanders was on the list. Like, there's no way Deion Sanders is going to Florida. There's no shot.
Oh, no.
What is that,
Deion's got an ego.
Deion in orange is just not exciting.
Deion's got that ego. I love him, but Deion's got that ego where he would say, I don't know. I had this conversation with Don. I don't know.
Deion would never. He's got too much pride, and I respect that.
Deion would never coach at UF. And
No
any major
shot.
program that hires Deion Sanders as a head coach
Well, that's the thing. It would never happen.
is asking to go into the shitter and be a laughing stock program.
He's 14-4 right now.
Well,
Great.
we still haven't
He's
brought up
playing
Willie.
He's playing NAIA schools. Okay.
Willie's facing his alumni this weekend for a bowl game eligibility.
Who
Cool.
did they play last week where they just got absolutely smacked? It was like 52-17 or something. I forget who it was, but they just got annihilated.
That's like every week.
Yeah, but they're bowl eligible. Or if they win this weekend, they're
Western,
bowl eligible.
Western Kentucky,
Western
I think.
Kentucky.
That's who they play this week.
Oh, they're playing
isn't it?
Middle Tennessee. No, never mind. Western Kentucky is who they faced last week. And
Okay.
his alumni beat him that badly, and then
They'll probably
Middle
beat
Tennessee.
Middle Tennessee, I think.
Yeah, Hockman couldn't even last there.
Damn, jeez. What's
I
going on
think Florida.
Thank you so much for laughing.
I think Florida ends up with Dave Clawson.
I don't think they're smart enough for that.
Wake Forest head coach.
And also part of it is that we haven't discussed yet. Their athletic administration's already in a little bit of heat with the stuff that's happening with the women's hoops program.
Yep.
What's going on there? Give us the latest.
Does anybody want to commit to a program where the athletic director may not be there in 2 months? I think that's something that a lot of coaches are going to look at. So I don't know if any of those top flight guys are going to want to take that job with that situation handed over their head, where the guy that supports them is not there in 2 months, potentially.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
That's a strong allegedly.
Got to make sure I had allegedly in there, as always. Who do you think it's going to be? Right now, I'd say safe bet, putting the money down, put my $1 down.
If I'm betting
Billy
money,
Napier.
I'm going Billy Napier.
Flight tracking's got him. Out of Gainesville.
Someone tweeted yesterday that flight tracking with college coaches is like tracking Santa for rednecks, and that made me laugh. It was really funny.
Jesus. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be fun to watch here. So definitely an exciting time to watch all the coaching search craziness. Hey, free entertainment for us in Tallahassee. That's all I got to say. I love it. Thank you for the clicks, Gainesville. Let's jump into this before we jump into basketball. Emory Jones, this kind of broke out earlier. I got some news this afternoon, early afternoon, around 3 o'clock, that Emory Jones was injured in a practice earlier this week in Gainesville. Seems to be now more serious than what I was first informed, and may not be available on Saturday. As we know, Anthony Richardson was injured while dancing in a hotel room before the South Carolina game. So he is dinged up too, not fully 100%. I'm sure we'll get some more info on that on the rest of the week.
That's the most 2018 Florida State injury of all time right there.
That is a
injured while dancing.
Injured while dancing. Not sure why that hasn't been brought up more, but FSU fans, get on it.
I'd rather play Emory Jones than Richardson, though.
Yeah, but Richardson's splitting first team reps with what's his name again, Dustin? Something
Carlos Del Rio Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if he's splitting first team reps, I don't think they're exactly confident he's gonna be able to go. And hopefully we get the 2013 kind of year where who'd they play? Was it like John Brantley, something like that, and he was just terrible.
No, that was Morningweg, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's who it was. Skylar Morningweg.
Yeah,
that dude was terrible.
Even still, Richardson, he's a dynamic scrambler, but if he's not 100%, obviously that plays in Florida State's favor. And for the most part, they've done pretty well against rushing quarterbacks. I thought they looked solid against Jerkovich on Saturday, except for the clear plays where they got held whenever he was able to get outside of the pocket for a couple of those successful runs that Boston College had. But the defensive line is playing its best football of the entire season right now, and I expect that to continue against a UF offensive line that doesn't scare me a whole lot.
Atrocious. They were awful against Missouri. Dookie. But yeah, I don't know if Anthony Richardson is fully 100%. So it seems like this cat, Carlos Del Rio Wilson, is the other quarterback that might be the start. That would be a tough game to go against. I think Jermaine Johnson and
Florida bores me.
Seems like Jermaine Johnson and Keir Thomas should be just licking their chops.
Jermaine's already going to be mad after not being named a finalist for the Bednarik Award.
Yeah, bring that up. A few of the players in there didn't even play.
Yeah,
half the season.
Thibodeau, who's played 4 games, I think 5 games.
I haven't even watched the game.
Kyle Hamilton, who deserves it. And then I forget the other two. Do either you know it off the top of your head before I look it up?
I do not have the list on here, but we'll
So
give you a
real
good
quick,
stall time.
Not to interrupt, Carlos Del Rio Wilson he's a true freshman, has not appeared in a game in the 2021 season, and at one point during his high school career, played at the same high school as Bailey Hockman.
What is going on here? What's up with all the Bailey Hockman?
There's a lot of Bailey
Webs.
Hockman tonight. Yeah, the other two finalists were Will Anderson from Alabama and Jordan Davis from Georgia, which, I mean, makes sense. But Kayvon should not have been over Jermaine.
But Jordan
There's
Davis'
no chance.
stats aren't jack shit.
That was a terrible list, by the way.
Oh, no, it wasn't. It was not a good list. The fact that neither of Michigan's pass rushers were on there or Jermaine was kind of embarrassing.
Mhm.
I get Hamilton.
You could tell they
It's kind of
put
just based off
teams
the
that were at the
preseason
top.
list.
Yeah. Because I think
Well, it's
Kayvon
like pretty
Thibodeau
much
has
all top
exact-
10 teams, right?
Yeah. Alabama, Georgia, Notre Dame, Oregon, all top 10
They're
teams.
pretty much saying if you're a great player on a bad team, you can't win an award.
Yeah.
It's like the MVP in the NBA.
Yeah. No. Ridiculous. Stupid. But yeah, so they should be
Not to say Florida State's bad, by the way.
We're not good yet.
Average. They've been good the last 8 games.
Austin, just
most
because
part.
Florida State dominated BFE Christian University this last week, and that doesn't mean that Florida State football can't be good.
We'll get there. We'll get there in
Okay.
in a segment. We'll
So
get
let's
there.
get there, man. Come on.
Nate's got to get this because he needs a Celsius extremely bad. He just
I
does
wonder.
not
I wonder
want to
who.
talk.
I wonder who has Celsius that I can get him from.
You're gonna have to check someone
Only,
out. I don't know.
only one
Text them.
person on this podcast has Celsius currently.
Mhm.
Logan lives.
No, I
12 minutes
don't.
away
What are you
from
talking
me, and
about?
I still have never tasted a
I
drop
told
of
you they gave
Celsius.
you one to drink on the way down to Gainesville because I know you're gonna be tired. He's gonna be so
Give
tired
him a
whenever we get
pack.
him. That's what I said.
know,
I'm gonna
he's
give him a
gonna-
pack.
He's going
You
to
said
give
give
me
him,
one
you just said give
drink.
him one. Yeah, you said you'll give him one
drink.
drink.
This man
Yeah.
got 8 crates worth of Celsius.
I'm gonna give you a pack, and I'm definitely gonna
You-
send Nate one because I know
You're
he's
greedy,
tired.
dude. Nate. You're a greedy mo. You know.
The
Why is
thing
the company in his
thing-
name again? We're all going to get screwed.
Hey, here's the deal, Dustin. You got to
He
get
didn't
excited
say
about
that
Florida
wasn't
State.
true.
You got to get excited about Florida State basketball because Austin believes they're back and they're dominating.
They never left. They just
What are you
struggled.
telling me to get
They-
excited for?
They just played
I
a
like
bad
Florida
game.
State
Because you
basketball.
texted me the other night and said something about Florida State basketball. I don't want.
I said I
won't
couldn't
share.
watch them while I was in Boston.
No, you did not. There was something else you said about Florida State basketball. I'll tell Austin when we get off the pod here.
Man, let me check my text message.
You might have been drinking, but
Possible.
yeah. But Austin, Florida State takes care of business in the inaugural Jacksonville Classic. UNF didn't even played in their own stadium. It was nice to have that. But yeah, Florida State back in their bag. Caleb Mills, I'll tell you, is really fun to watch. And John Butler.
I feel like taking care of business doesn't emphasize enough what happened this weekend. Florida State just flat out dominated the entire weekend. Beat a pretty good Loyola team by 28. And then you followed up the next night by beating an average Missouri team by 23, holding both teams to a combined 37% from the floor, forcing 41 combined turnovers. The defense was just unreal all weekend. Just getting passing lanes. You really saw in the Loyola game where Loyola would drive, and as soon as they touched the paint, there's 3 Florida State defenders on them. Just couldn't do anything, couldn't get shots up, couldn't get passes out. Just dominated on defense, and then the offense finally started clicking in the second half of the Loyola game. They had 5 straight possessions with a made 3. They were just finally hitting those open shots that we've been seeing them generate all season. At least they were making them, and it spread into the Missouri game. They started off 9-2 in the first 4 minutes and just didn't look back. Missouri was outmatched from pretty much from the get-go. Their best player, Kobe Brown, only attempted 7 shots just because he was swarmed all game. And then we made Loyola look like we made it look like Loyola Maryland, who's terrible. But then they followed it up next game by beating a really good SMU team. SMU entered the tournament as, in my opinion, the second best team in the tournament, but lost both games. They should have beaten Missouri. I don't know how they lost that Missouri game, but instead Florida State gets to play Missouri in the championship, who I thought was the worst team out of the 4, and just smacked them up and down the court all night.
Yeah, I mean, it was good to see Florida State come out and play like that, especially just straight up dominating after the loss to UF, and obviously struggling a little bit against Tulane. And, this team, every single game this season, their defense has showed up, and they've done great when it comes to limiting opponent field goal percentages, getting tons of blocks and steals, and creating opportunities in transition. And like you said, Austin, it really just comes down to the open shots, because that's kind of what you've missed so far this season. Guys have started off a little bit cold, and you really saw it this weekend. When they hit the shots, they're going to blow teams out because they're going to play defense every single night. That's one thing I think you're going to be able to count on just about every game this season. There might be a few lulls here and there, but this team's built on defense, and if the offense executes, man, they're going to be a tough out later down the line. This
is the best defensive team Coach Hamilton's had since they changed systems in the middle 2010s, like that 2014, 2015 era. This is by far the best defense they've had since then. Just these guys want to play defense. They love playing defense. The play that stuck out to me the most was in the Loyola game. Cam Fletcher gets beat pretty bad on a back cut. And instead of allowing the open layup, he spikes the ball off the backboard all the way out to the three-point line. I mean, he just absolutely sent that ball. That's not stuff you were seeing last year. These guys just have that energy, have that juice. Just keep going, keep forcing mistakes. It's incredible to watch. It really is. I put on Twitter that heading in this weekend, Florida State was 28th in Ken Palm's defensive efficiency. They're now 10th because they're just that dominant on the defensive side of the ball. And you don't make that kind of jump in 2 games without doing something serious. And they showed it. They were just dogs in both games, just dogging them up and down the floor.
Yeah, and Cam Fletcher, to me, might be the most impressive player on the team because he's probably the best one-on-one defender, I would say, on the entire team right now. His intensity on defense is just suffocating. I mean, you talked about the recovery, but not just that, like jumping into passing lanes, getting steals, going down for highlight jams. He gets one highlight play a game at least. You're going to feel him. And now his offense is starting to come along after struggling at Kentucky last year, 5 of 6 last night, 2 of 3 from downtown. If he can keep this up, I mean, that man's going to the NBA. An NBA team is going to fall in love with the way he plays defense and see we can develop his offense because he does have some tools there.
And I feel like we're not giving a couple of the freshmen enough love. Matthew Cleveland and John Butler are also just amazing defensively. How many times have we seen the last couple of games where they dig in on a ball handler and just strip the ball away just effortlessly? We saw Matthew Cleveland just took the ball like it was nothing, like stealing candy from a baby against whoever Missouri's ball handler was. I don't even know. These guys love playing defense, just absolutely love it. And the more havoc they create on the defensive side of the ball, the easier things are going to come on the offensive side of the ball. There's still times here or there where they overhelp, like especially the young guys, they overhelp on a 3 and get caught out of position. It happens occasionally, but when you're turning opponents over on a third of their possessions, you're going to live with a bad play here and there. It's unreal to watch defensively right now. And hopefully they can keep it up because we'll talk about it here in a second, but they got a really big game next Tuesday.
I'm excited for it.
Oh.
I'm excited for it, Dustin.
You know what I want to happen, so
Whoa. Well, no, the season isn't up. The season, Florida State's season, doesn't weigh on the balance of what
I need one more W in basketball. I can get all the W's they want. So
you mean you need one more football W?
Correct.
One more football W, and then basketball can do their thing.
Yeah, basketball can have at it, and then good luck, Ham. I need one more.
Well, are they gonna get a win against Purdue? Because that's going to be a very tough matchup.
Come on, Boilermakers.
First, they got to get past Boston University tomorrow, which may not sound a lot, but they're picked as the Patriot League favorites. Who, if you've been watching a Patriot League and the ACC games so far this year, may want to watch out because Navy beat Virginia first game of the year. Army's giving team some fights. Colgate beat Syracuse last week. Patriot League's sticking it to.
Gotta brush your teeth.
Patriot League's sticking it to the ACC right now. And Boston's a really experienced team. 5 of their top 6 scorers are all seniors, and the one that's not is a junior. Really experienced team. Florida State's probably going to be a little bit tired after coming off 2 straight games in 2 straight days.
So is
and only
Boston U though.
Yeah,
Same thing.
true.
They played
They played in
back-to-back
Jacksonville.
days. Not to interrupt you too much, but I really think tomorrow it's probably going to be an ugly game to start. But I do think, Florida State, they've got so much depth and they dominated these two games over the weekend. They didn't have to play as many guys as big of minutes as they normally would in close games. So as it goes on, you'll see FSU separate, probably win by double digits.
I mean, Boston dominated their games too. They beat Northern Illinois by 18 and then followed up by beating Sam Houston State by 13.
I don't know their roster, but do they have the depth and the type of rotation that Florida State has?
They played 9 guys consistently. They've got 9 guys averaging 12-plus minutes.
Well, I don't care.
They don't – and they honestly have a little bit of size too. They don't go as tall as Florida State's towers do. But, I mean, everyone that plays is 6'2" and taller, and they've only got one guy that's shorter than 6'4". So
I drove by Boston University this weekend. All right, they're not beating Florida State. I saw their.
They're not going to beat them, but like you said, it's probably going to be an ugly game where it
was like
kind of have dead legs. It's going to be one of those games.
Did you spit on their buildings?
I flex on them.
What are you flexing?
What did you have to flex with? Your gray shirt?
I mean, not much.
Slides?
I was wearing so many sweaters that it kind of looked like I lost something.
Cap?
My goodness gracious. Nate's just shaking his head, wondering if he should have gone back to work tonight. But yeah, get us to Purdue. That's what we want to hear, Dustin.
Purdue game is going to be – it's going to go one of two ways. It's either going to be a slugfest. Teams are trading blows. It's like a 62-61 kind of game. Or Purdue's absolutely going to wipe the floor with us and win by 30. There's not going to be an in-between. Purdue is so damn good. And I just mean so good. Their rotating bigs of Trevion Williams and Zach Edey are mismatched nightmares. I fear whoever they put on Zach Edey because he's just going to absolutely toast all of our 7-footers. And then you combine that with Jaden Ivey, who's preseason All-American on a lot of lists. He's a really dangerous player. Then you also have Sasha Stefanovic. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. They've got 4 guys averaging 13-plus points. It's just a dangerous team. Hopefully it's a competitive game because this is one of Florida State's few chances for a resume-building win just because the ACC sucks right now. It's absolutely terrible.
Granted, you follow college basketball more than I do. But you really think this is an FSU team will get blown out by Purdue?
Purdue's so good. I mean, they beat – I don't think Carolina's good, but they beat Carolina by 10 on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Who else did they? They just beat someone else. They just beat Villanova, who is also really good.
So they get a week off. FSU gets a week off before Purdue, right?
Yeah, which is going to be helpful. And Purdue plays Omaha on Friday, if I'm doing my math right.
That's not going to matter much.
It's a nothing game.
No.
That's a tune-up game.
I think it's going to be competitive.
I really hope so. And these guys have the mentality where they're not going to quit. But Purdue's, I can't say enough. Purdue's so good.
Hey, we'll put your stamp on it. We need a prediction on it.
Prediction will come in my article on Tuesday morning.
No. We need a pod prediction and an article prediction.
No, not for me.
Can Florida State's athleticism cause problems for Purdue?
Absolutely. And I think what everyone is waiting on is for some of Florida State's scorers to wake up. And we saw it a little bit in these last couple of games where Caleb Mills had the ball on the string and was getting what he wanted. Anthony Polite finally started hitting shots against Missouri. Malik Osborne's been consistent. If these guys can stay consistent and stay hitting shots, yeah, they're going to stand a really good chance. But if it's like the first 3 games, especially like the Florida game, where they're struggling to hit shots, really muddling up the offense, slow pace, not getting shots up to there's 5 or 6 seconds left in the shot clock, it's going to be a rough night. And I mean a really rough night. The way Purdue plays offense, playing through the bigs, yet the bigs are on the perimeter, but they can put the ball on the floor, they can pass, they can set screens. It's going to be something Florida State won't see again all year and is really tough to prepare for because as tall and as athletic as Florida State is, Tenor Ingham, Quincy Ballard, and Naheem McLeod are not the playmakers that Zach Edey and Trevion Williams are. And that's tough to scout against. It's really tough to scout against.
So
honestly, if you look back on it, Florida State, they haven't had the greatest history when it comes to road games and the ACC Big Ten Challenge.
Or really playing Indiana teams in general.
So let me ask you this: what's your reaction if they lose to Boston but beat Purdue?
Confusion. That would be my first reaction. That would be my first reaction. It's straight confusion. If they lose tomorrow night, I'm gonna be pretty upset. And if they come out and beat Purdue next Tuesday, I'm not gonna know what to do. Really, as long as the Purdue game's competitive, that's a good sign. Because as we keep saying, this team's not going to peak until late January or early February. So if they go up to Mackey Arena, one of the toughest places to play in college basketball, and compete, you're okay.
It's also a team you see in the tournament. So
yeah, absolutely. And Purdue's right now is one of my Final Four picks. So it's a damn good team that they're about to play next Tuesday, and I'm just damn good team.
Do we know where that's being broadcasted on?
ESPN. At 7. It's either 7 or 7:30. I think they're still waiting to announce it, but it's ESPN for sure. So primetime game Tuesday night.
We're flying you up there, Austin. Can't wait.
Dude, I wish. I want to go to that game so bad.
You gotta get VZ up there.
You gotta take Spirit Airlines though.
Yeah, Spirit Airlines. Oh god.
Hey, on the bright side. On the bright side, I got a free place to stay. My grandparents stay 40 minutes south.
Logan.
Yeah, Nate. I thought he was gone, but he's secretly. Oh, well, not like that. I was saying bye to Nate, not to Austin to crash and die in a plane ride.
Wow.
Hey, Austin, check that text. Check that text message. That's how you can get to that game.
We'll see. I'm not holding my breath.
Hey, Nate, check that text.
I wouldn't doubt it.
If you did, I'm going to be upset after what Logan told us the other day.
Hey,
I'm about to start some fights on a podcast, on a live stream.
Hey, Austin.
What date is that? What date is that Purdue game?
It's December or November 29th or 28th.
Oh, well, no, not going to happen then. Not going
Austin,
on that plane, right?
It's the same that Celsius, sitting fat and pretty.
Oh, my. It must be nice, man.
For what it's worth.
Celsius.
For what it's worth, I have not put much damage into that. I just kind of keep it here just to tick you off, Nate.
Send us some. I would love some.
I'll think about it tomorrow. I don't have any schoolwork due this week, so
you send me my shirt yet?
Send you. You want polos? Well,
no, he wants the shirt.
I'm going to spend my whole day tomorrow at FedEx.
I told you to send me large shirts, dude.
He said,
well, you get like bank out of that. I'm going to send you 4 shirts, Nate. I'm going to give you some Celsiuses. It's going to be like a whole box you're going to get. A care package.
And then a polo.
A heart in there. It's going to have a heart. And it's going to have my cologne on the shirts because I'm going to put the cologne on there for you. You can smell me.
God. Curve. Straight out of Walmart Curve, sitting there.
Oh, man. All right. Well, let's jump and do this. Before we send Austin on a Spirit airline flight. Florida State.
I'll take a free flight. I don't care.
Okay, well, we'll do it. F it. He's going on it.
We start looking at flights.
Go ahead, look for it. Out of Charlotte, yeah, go ahead. Take a peeky poo. We'll send Austin over there. Why not? All right, so let's get started.
It'd be a good game to cover, for real.
That's what I'm saying. We'd like to have one
just
of our
just
guys
a legendary
there.
arena. I mean, Mackey Arena is famous for a reason.
You know what's also famous? Florida State. Florida. That's right, baby. Jameis Winston too.
Enough basketball bullshit. Let's get to the real stuff.
Let's get to the good stuff. This is why we're here. Could this be our last game preview football-wise? Could this be it?
Shut your mouth. Quit saying that.
Meanwhile, you're the one picking Florida State to lose this weekend.
For reverse jinx purposes, as I've said on multiple podcasts.
I don't care.
I will say this every episode.
Florida State takes on the Florida Gators this upcoming weekend without Dan Mullen in attendance. This will be premiered on ESPN. Premiered broadcasted, same thing. Florida State still an underdog in this. I think it's still the Gators are still favored by 3 points, Nate. They were favored by 10 points heading into this when Dan Mullen
that was
the head
laughable,
coach.
dude.
That was hilarious.
Whatever, dude.
Yeah,
Great.
I don't know.
I'd much rather FSU go into this game as an underdog.
Yeah, no. So Florida State comes into this as an underdog coming into Gainesville. A lot of the line for both teams. Both are fighting for bowl eligibility, but it's like one team and the other one is on the downward spiral. And Florida State
Kind of like
is
that
wanting
Miami
to
game, right? Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. The downward spiral of Florida State.
No, Miami was going down.
But they were coming up.
What do you mean they were coming up? Going in that game, Miami was in a downward spiral because Manny is probably about to lose his job this offseason. Now you're going into a UF game, another rival who's on a downward spiral.
Van Dyke was leading them to the next national championship.
Not anymore. Not since he played Florida State.
Jermaine Johnson, really.
That's
But-
facts.
Who is this? Who did this? Look at this Gabe guy coming. Gabe coming in here on the YouTube chat.
What's up, Gabe?
What's up, douche canoe?
Ban him.
Ban him.
Douche canoe.
Oh man.
This
That's why
will
we
not
do,
be
man.
their
We
last
see it.
game. This will not be their last game. Don't say
King
that.
Max saying Jermaine and Keir Thomas will play their tails off. This will be their last game.
They're playing in a bowl game.
Oh, Nate's locking it down here.
Moving on. Let's go, man. Let's do this.
Yes, Keyston, we talked. Sorry if I said the name wrong, so I'm going to go with Miss Walton there, or Mr. Walton. Was Emory Jones injured in practice? Yes, he was. So that's going to be the big storyline heading to this. Florida State's defensive ends, defensive line versus either Emory Jones, Anthony Richardson, or who knows the flying F who it's going to be. It's probably going to have to be Carlos Del Rio Wilson. What a name. What a
Pull
name.
that
Can they even
comment
fit
up.
that on a
Pull the latest comment up.
Can they even put that on a jersey? Some guy on Twitter, literally his name, some guy on Twitter or on YouTube says, Austin Veazey looks like he's recording in his closet. You are not wrong. That's what
I don't think Austin's not even listening to us.
No, I'm listening. That's what the blank stare is for. Hey, some
Jesus.
guy, spell my name right if you're going to insult me. Jeez.
That's how you spell it.
Mm-mm-mm. How are we feeling about this game? We feel pretty good, huh? It seems to be that way.
I mean,
Wow. Everybody
you've got to feel good, right? You know, Florida State, they've been playing some good football recently. 5-2 in the last 7. Florida lost their head coach, fired their defensive coordinator earlier this season, fired their offensive line coach. You know, the
Florida
other members
has
of that
8
coaching.
coaches, 8 on-field coaches this week. Sorry, Dustin.
But regardless, those coaches, they probably know their tenure at Florida is over in the next game or two. You know, when a new guy
Right.
comes in, he's going to want to bring his own guys in. So I wonder if they're as focused on this game as they should be, and the players as well. You know, there's got to be some disarray going on in that locker room with how swift some of this stuff is taking place, and now you lose Emory Jones. There's factors outside of the game that I think are kind of going to affect the Gators mentally. But regardless, this is a rivalry game. This is Florida State versus Florida. This is a game for each team to make it to a bowl. And I think neither team is ranked. It's kind of like the Florida State-Miami game. This rivalry, it's not at its peak right now. But this is still a big game. You know, when you look back on it, you can say Florida State knocked Florida out of bowl contention. You're going to be able to hold that over their heads all offseason, or vice versa with the Gators if they do somehow win this game. And also it puts Florida State back on top of the state. It gives Mike Norvell and the coaching staff a ton of recruiting momentum to work with over the next year. And it shows that he can win in this rivalry, which is something Willie Taggart wasn't able to do during his tenure at Florida State.
I want to comment on this real quick from King Mac. Jermaine talked to us last week and specifically said he will be playing in the bowl game. So unless he goes against what he said, Jermaine Johnson does plan on playing the bowl game. I don't
They
think
said
it's
the
maybe
same thing about
suggested,
Dalvin Cook, and Dalvin went and ate up Michigan. So
but, yeah. But what about Jabril Peppers?
I think he
There's
missed
some
that game.
guys.
How's
There's
he
some
doing in the
guys
league?
who are
dude?
just built differently, and Jermaine Johnson is one of them. You know, a lot of guys have that mindset. I need to go protect myself. I need to go protect my stock. Jermaine Johnson wants to go play for his team. And those are the kind of guys you want on your roster, especially in this day and age of college football.
But I think that this is everything sets up for FSU to get the W. Even with Mullen, I thought it was going to be a tight game because for everything, again, I said it 100 times, I'll say it again. He is a good X and O's coach. So, I felt that this was going to be a competitive game. I think that, this will test the cojones of what's left at Florida. If these players give a shit, it's going to be a tight game because it's a rivalry game. If they've packed it in, this is a game that Florida State can dominate because as they did against Miami and Boston College, they have a major advantage running the ball over Florida. Florida is not good at all when it comes to run defense. It might be one of the worst run defenses that Florida State will play this year. In my opinion, one of the bottom 2 or 3 for sure. And I think that's going to be the major difference in this game. I think that Florida State is going to be able to control the pace of the game, and I think they're going to run all over Florida.
This is a Florida team.
It's just a matter of one team is super confident right now, moving in the right direction, has something to play for, where the other team is just dead in the water.
Exactly. Florida coming into this game, they've lost 3 of their last 4. Only win in that stretch was the 70-52 debacle against Sanford. I mean, what even was that game? Whereas you look at Florida State, they've proven now that they can go on the road and win. They did it against North Carolina. They've done it against Boston College. And like you said, Nate, I mean, they've got to be feeling good. Jordan Travis is really starting to come together as a passer and beginning to develop into what I would say is a legitimate threat there. I've been really impressed and hope he can keep that hot streak going against UF. I think the running game is going to be able to find some room. I mean, LSU absolutely dominated them.
South Carolina dominated them. I think South Carolina ran for 330 yards on them. Yeah.
It's been a bad stretch for that entire program. And now to have Jones out, Richardson potentially not at 100%. We'll see if he can go. And then you're starting a true freshman who's never taken a snap at the collegiate level. A lot of stuff is playing into Florida State's favor. They've got to block out the noise, have a good week of practice, go in there and get it done. I think this team's going to be fired up to try and finish off the regular season in the right way.
Jen's
and even Missouri's running back, I think, even for 151 last week.
Yeah, I would say Missouri ran well. Jen's asking, is Florida? Yeah, Jen said, is Florida harder to beat than Boston College or Miami?
No,
not this year. No,
not this game.
The Florida of earlier this year would have been tough. It would have been a tough game, but it's a long season, and here we are.
And a lot of it's what Nate was saying earlier is how bad does Florida want to play right now? We've seen teams in the past get up for their interim coaches. We saw it with Odell, a couple years ago, where the guys want to play for Odell. Does Florida really want to play for their interim coach right now? We have no way of knowing until about 12:30 on Saturday.
Yeah, it's either going to be they come out fighting or they come out just
ready to get it over with,
ready to punch out for the season.
This is another one,
winter conditioning.
Like that Miami, like the BC game, Florida State starts fast, builds up a big early lead. Will the Gators quit?
Yeah, like you can put this away early if you really feel like if Norvell wants to, they can. And he was extremely aggressive against Boston College in that first half. I mean, he wanted to keep putting points on the board because the offense was doing fantastic, and he was trusting his defense too to make plays. And man, I don't think for a UF team down like this, I just think you kind of can end it there, and they'll call it quits in the locker room at halftime. Because Odell Hagens, that's a different guy. That's a program guy that's been there.
I was just saying it's an example where some teams get up for their interim coach, some don't. We just got to see.
Oh no, it's definitely a good example of it's just two different people for sure. And, we'll see if Florida wants to fight for who they've got. I don't see it. I mean, like Nate had said, 8 on-field coaches this Saturday? Like, it doesn't look so pretty for Gainesville. And I don't think there's going to be many UF fans in attendance. I know I've seen a few comments on here tonight, but I'm not expecting that to be the case. I think it's going to be a little bit like 2013.
That's all they got in Gainesville, man. They'll probably show up.
It's going to be like 2013. There's going to be
Florida
that's all they've got, yeah. But now they're a basketball school. See how that flip-flopped? It just changed so quickly. Now they're basketball. I got all the texts from all of my UF friends. Now they're basketball. But then they're always gymnastics, tennis.
The basketball team is playing well. I'll give
badminton school. What do you say, Austin?
I said the basketball team is playing well. I'll give them credit.
Yep.
The Florida State's going to have to play.
They get a cupcake.
Smart, play within themselves, do what they got to do. Let's get the W. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Beg for a different officiating crew.
Go out there and punch them in the face, and I think Florida will tuck tail. I don't think Florida is man.
Anthony's saying you're not talking enough tonight. He needs a Celsius. Don't. But I'm gonna send Nate a Celsius tomorrow.
Well, if you shut,
I'm gonna give Nate.
I'll talk.
We give Nate enough talking time. That is, Anthony, we can't do anymore. We have to limit it.
No, I just think if Florida State can, limit the penalties, run the ball, and play defense, I think this is a comfortable win. Because I just don't know, man. I have no idea what to expect from Florida. Do you? That's the wild card in this game. If they want to play, it's going to be a good game. If they don't want to play, it's going to be a blowout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could be really a blowout. If Florida State were to get a win this weekend, where would you like to go bowling? Which opponent would you like? There is some potential of having a reunion with Willie Taggart if he's able to pull it off this weekend. Could you go bowling with them? Right now, I know Brett McMurphy put out his latest bowl projections, and he's got Florida State facing Tulsa in the Gasparilla Bowl in Tampa on
I'm down with that.
23rd.
I can go. It's just 30 minutes from my house.
Yeah, that's why I want the Belk Bowl. Charlotte, the stadium's 20 minutes from me in Charlotte.
All about you, Austin.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
You don't even like football.
Yeah, how can you now?
I like it. Just gives me pain and suffering. That's it.
All right, let's do this. Come on.
Basketball's lost to Florida made me suffer, Austin.
Nah.
Wow, congrats. First time in 8 years.
Before we get started here, just like Nate and Austin and Dustin
Your
really want these.
Makes me suffer.
This isn't rambling. This is giving love to our beautiful friends at Celsius. The best drinks you can have. These guys will have them next week, so they're going to talk all about them. They're actually going to do the ad read next week. I'm not going to do anything. They're going to give the ad read. They're going to read off the back of this. Really don't have to read off that because you get the email with the details. That rhymed. 7 essential vitamins. I drink these every day before practice and going to the gym. They're awesome. Don't give me too much. You got to get that sweaty feeling. I don't get that with these. They're made great. No preservatives, no artificial colors or flavors in there. Always got to have that. And no high fructose or corn syrup. Nate, these are amazing. They're awesome. This one
Did
is
you say
sparkling.
that they give you sweaty feet?
Not this one.
Said? Okay.
No, they don't give you that. I can guarantee that. No sweaty feet for me.
But
these,
that's pretty weird.
Yeah, those are the sparkling. These are the sparkling strawberry guava ones. These are awesome. The code is actually on the screen right now. You can go to the link down below in our description. Click that link. You get 20% off using code 20FSU guava. It's a good. We don't know that Nate's muted, so now we mute Nate. It works perfectly. But 20% off. Celsius, the best brand in the game. Getting a little extra energy, get some caffeine in you, and feel good. So shout out to them, always sponsoring the show with us. Excited for that. Gentlemen, let's jump into it. You're unmuted, Nate.
I'm always
You're
unmuted.
here.
Start us off.
Even when I'm muted. I'm unmuted.
Yeah, even when you are muted, you're somehow unmuted.
Yeah.
How does that work? Fuck, Jesus.
Man, I don't know, man. I'll be honest with you. I haven't studied Florida one iota because of everything that's gone on this past week.
Yeah.
You know, I felt that it was a team that was definitely moving in the wrong direction very quickly. I felt confident with Dan Mullen. You know, I felt more confident about Florida over the past couple of weeks than I did against Miami, and that hasn't really changed. I just don't know what to expect from this Florida team. It's not a great team. It's a team that has some ability to score, but as I think Dustin said, no defense coordinator, no online coach, no head coach. Who's going to lead this team? In terms of coaching, who's going to be the leader? Who's going to put him through, help him get through adversity? Is this team even going to want to play? And I don't know what to expect from that. I'll be honest with you. I think this is a hard game to predict because I don't know which kind of team Florida State's going to be playing. But I do think that when you look at the game itself, I think that it's another advantage where FSU can run the ball a lot on this team. As I said a few minutes ago, this is a really bad run defense. And I think that this is a game where, Jordan Travis will be able to expose Florida. I think Corbin and Ward will have a great game. I think that Florida State wins. I'm not going to say comfortably because, every time Florida State's gotten up, they've had a fight tooth and nail. But I think this is a 31-17 Florida State win.
Okay.
So I'm making my prediction purely for reverse jinx purposes because it has worked throughout the season. I don't remember if I did the breakdown last week. I picked Syracuse to beat Florida State. Florida State won. I picked North Carolina to beat Florida State. Florida State won. I picked Miami to beat Florida State. Florida State won. I picked Boston College to beat Florida State, and Florida State won. So I feel like I have to sacrifice myself to keep this trend going. I mean, you guys have heard me talk about how comfortable I feel about Florida State going into this game, but I'm doing this because I'm a superstitious person. I really believe in shit like that. If Florida State wins a game, or if like the Boston Celtics, my NBA team wins a game, the same shirt I wore that game, I'm wearing the next game. Like shit like that. So anyway, I'm gonna pick Florida 27-24, but I'll talk to you all on the post game reaction about the W.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be on the road doing that one.
Yes, sir. No game day. Credentialed. We'll be in Gainesville on Saturday.
That's right.
On one hand, like everything's looking up for Florida State. Like we've talked about a few times, Florida's got 8 on-field coaches, no head coach, no DC, no O-line coach. Should be able to gash them in the running game.
So stupid.
But it's a rivalry game.
Thank me later.
It's a rivalry game. Anything can happen. And part of me wants to pull the Dustin route and go reverse jinx because I swear I'm 0 for my last 4.
Don't screw it up, dude. Just
I feel like because I'm pretty sure I'm 0 for my last 4. No, I had us losing NC State, so I'm 1 for my last 3.
You know what you got to do. Like follow.
Be a grown man, Austin, and pick the fucking Knowles. Let's go.
But as a native of Jacksonville, Florida, that is 75% Florida fans, and I get tired of hearing about them. Got tired of hearing about them growing up. I can't. I can't. Florida State 28, Florida 24.
Oh man,
I can't do it. I can't bring my soul to reverse jinx. I can't.
It's your fault, bro.
I can't do it.
Dustin is broken. He really does believe in that superstitious stuff. So his heart just dropped.
Hopefully, it's just you that's been like the reverse jinx is only for you. Hopefully, that's what it is. That's what I'm hoping for.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot bring myself to pick that school down south.
Stop muting me, Logan.
In Hogtown.
I haven't touched the damn keyboard. I'm not muted. I promise you, I'm not muted. You touched it. I have not muted you. God dang. My hands are up. I have not touched anything. That was funny. It's funny. Me and Nate are going to go with the same score that Florida's going to get. I got Florida having 17 points, but I think it's not even close. And in the fourth quarter, I think Florida State wins this one 35-17. Florida State fans, they take over the swamp. It's just going to be the last little final straw for Gators, just to slice off the neck there, just like what you do it with the Lizards and just rip their necks off. I don't know if I'm going to have PETA call me or whatever. I'm going to go to jail for saying that, but wild lizards, just rip their heads off and just call it a day. They just need to go down without any kind of pain.
Might get your
Allegedly
pulled for that. Be careful.
Yeah, I know. That is true. After anything that I do. But yeah, Florida State, I think, dominated fashion on defense. I think Adam Fuller, this is where he just seals it. I think he already sealed it last week and even the week before, but I think Adam Fuller's here to stay. But this one's going to be just the last little step there where he puts
if
his
they tried out the true
down.
freshman, if they tried out Del Rio Wilson, okay,
If they tried him out, it might get ugly.
it's gonna get ugly. You know,
I think it's the complete opposite here. It's not going to be low scoring.
There's a chance.
I don't care. I don't care if Florida State wins 6-3.
I was just about to say that. I don't care if it's 6-3. Just win.
For them to get to bowl eligibility is a huge W for the staff, and to go from 0-4, finish 6-6, not the record we all want as Florida State fans, but the fact that they got there and got to bowl eligibility is a lot to be said.
The fact they're even in the position, like when Florida State started at 0-4, all we've said is give them a chance to be bowl eligible. That's all we really wanted, and they got there. Credit to them. They've been able to win some games that we didn't think they could win. And now you have a chance to beat Florida on the road. Both teams are playing for a chance to be bowl eligible. Which team's going to want it more?
I just want to see them go to a bowl. I don't care if they beat Florida ugly, if they blow them out, if it's a tight game. I don't give a shit. Just get to 6-6 and get to a bowl.
Yeah, I think the same. That's the same for FSU fans right now. Just do your thing, take care of business, and Gainesville. I just think it's going to be not so close, really, whatsoever. But yeah, that's going to end off tonight's pod. Any shout out to anybody? Everybody have a great Thanksgiving. Safe travels, right?
Everyone but Dustin have a great Thanksgiving.
Comment, Dustin?
Not even Dustin, man. Have an okay Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
What's your guys' favorite food on Thanksgiving?
Mac and cheese, always.
Oh my! You can get that whenever. Oh my god.
Rolls.
So basic.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, I should have said Hawaiian rolls.
Ham or turkey?
You can get that at Walmart. What are we doing? That's not Thanksgiving food. That's not Thanksgiving
regular rolls
food.
with butter, and you bake them in the oven. That's the shit.
Ham or turkey?
Turkey.
I'm going ham.
Ham.
It's not Christmas.
I don't care.
But turkey.
Ham is just
Christmas.
better than turkey.
Green bean casserole is the best side.
Hell
Green bean
no.
casserole is disgusting.
That is the whitest thing I've ever heard you say.
Yeah.
The whitest
Green bean
thing.
casserole?
All right, milk boy.
Green bean casserole.
All right,
Hey, where's that milk at, Austin?
Yeah, where's the milk? Big cap.
We're not defending green
all
bean
What about the
casserole.
milk?
Let's not skip past it.
Yeah, no, where's the milk? Where's the milk?
That's as simple as it is.
God, remember what? Oh my
Y'all forgot to
gosh.
remind me. I told y'all to remind me. You didn't remind me. You can scroll
Bro,
through
I know you
text.
got milk in the fridge. Run over there real quick.
Oh yeah.
I did not.
Just
Hey,
down it.
So, does your family make the mashed potatoes, or do they buy instant?
Depends on which family I'm eating Thanksgiving with.
Pretty sure my family makes them.
Is it my mom's side or my
do not
dad's
have
side?
enough seasoning.
Does your family make the stuffing, or they buy it?
That's a Logan question.
I don't need
The green bean casserole?
No, the stuffing.
Why am I getting? I have. Yeah,
My family.
Okay, because we already
sits there
established
with
that Dustin and I are
scissors
ham guys.
and cuts the bread and makes the stuffing from scratch.
I don't know what goes into that. I'm not Guy Fieri. I don't know what's going on here. I'm not in cooking class yet at
Does
Kaiser.
your
but
family buy stovetop? Yes or no?
no, that's made from scratch. I'm talking about my green bean casserole. That's made. That's all I care about. I can have
Logan,
that
do
along.
you
along
like to
with
get
the
Casserole.
stuff in your mouth? That's what we're
Stop.
asking.
I know what's happening. I'm not falling for it. I know what Nate's trying to do. I'm not saying it.
Wait, I'm asking you.
You're trying to get me with a joke. He's trying to get
He's
me to
not.
say.
He's asking a question. This is a restaurant guy asking a question about food.
Thank
Do
you,
you know what
John
stuffing
White.
is?
John White. Yes, I know what that is. Dustin, curfew. Did you hear that, Nate?
Yeah. Get your ass
Curfew.
off there. You need
She
to be
thought
in
we were
there
doing
by
a
15
podcast
days.
because we're sitting here talking about stuffing.
No, what'd you say, Nate? What did she say? Come on, Nate, say it.
Say what? What? I'm lost. I was asking you if your family does real stuffing or if they use it out of a box, and then
Zero damn clue.
The
Man,
wife to be tells Dustin that it's bedtime. So
end us off.
You need to get a cookbook or hire a chef. I can't do that yet. We got a long ways to go. I got to make my own ramen right now.
What's better, ramen with A1 sauce?
What?
Or ramen? Yeah, ramen with A1, man. Where you been, man?
Not in the psych ward.
I was never broke enough in college to eat ramen.
Put steak sauce on ramen?
Fuck yeah.
Say
yes, you gotta fry your turkey.
Yeah, you're not wrong, Sage.
Or you gotta use it in a smoker. Put a lot
Either that. Those are the two. Don't bake it.
Do a lot of Cajun butter injection and smoke it.
Garlic.
Good.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely delicious. Well, I think that's gonna do it, guys.
What's the best part of the turkey? The skin or the meat?
I like the skin. Definitely if it's fried. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'll fight
fried.
you for the skin, dude.
I'll fight you. You don't want none of this. You don't want none of this.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, it's time to
It's time to go.
It's time to get off of here. We've got
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone, for real. For listening.
2 plates.
Appreciate
2 plates minimum.
Hey, wait, I appreciate everyone, helping us get to that number one, college site.
That's right.
On Sports Illustrated. Appreciate everyone's support.
It's all because of Nate. Nate
We'll
Greer,
see what happens next Tuesday. That's the big meeting. That's when we know we're number one for real.
It is all because of me. Ever since my arrival to Nate Game Day, it has been just a different direction of the website. So
we appreciate that.
Everything,
Definitely.
Notoriety.
Everything, the clout that you brought.
Cuss words.
Yep.
The cuss words, the fights with
That's
other
attempted
media
fight.
members, the comments section.
We appreciate
everything.
it all.
The homemade
Pretty
shirts.
much just
The homemade
personality.
shirt. Yeah,
You know,
they needed it.
personality, you know?
They needed it. But yeah, everybody be safe.
I'm pretty sure I'm the one who gave the idea for Austin to break his ukulele. You know, just the motivation.
Oh
in some
my
form or
god,
fashion.
no.
Don't rip that from Austin. That wasn't his
none of
own
y'all had
mind.
any
Don't
clue.
come after him.
Y'all didn't have any clue.
Don't do that to him. He's gonna go grab a glass of milk and drink himself to sleep.
All right, it's time to go, dude.
Okay, well, I was trying to. Then you keep on bringing up topics. Oh man! All right, guys, enjoy y'all's holiday. Hopefully, we gave y'all enough content to listen on your car ride. God, if you're doing that around your family members, please watch out. This is explicit here.
Make sure
the
you
spear.
label it that. Jesus.
It is. It's always labeled explicit. But hope everybody has a great week. Enjoy the game this upcoming weekend. If you see us in Gainesville, come say what's up. I won't be giving you a Celsius, but I'll give you a wristband. But yeah, seriously, everybody have a fun, safe week. And we will talk to you guys during the instant reaction on Saturday afternoon. Peace, y'all. Happy Thanksgiving.
Go Noles.
Travis Hunter?
Fuck Florida.
Okay.
Travis Hunter?
Yeah.
No comment?
Oh, Travis Hunter, yeah. Best ever.